PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 were the first consoles ever to dip their toes into HD gaming, and as a result, games from that generation still hold up surprisingly well even to this day. The PlayStation 3 in particular had some beautiful games, despite not always being the lead development platform. The machine's first-party exclusives still easily hold up as some of the best-looking games ever released, with several titles getting remastered. With the new generation of consoles in the PlayStation 5 and Xbox X series, it's always interesting to look back at previous generations to see how well they hold up. Welcome to Hotfix Gaming. I'm Joy, and today we're looking at the top 10 PS3 games with graphics that still hold up to this day. So, let's get started. Number 10. Beyond Two Souls. Beyond Two Souls represents Sony's focus on big-budget, highly cinematic games with unorthodox gameplay and presentation. Released on the PS3 mere months before the PS4's launch, and laid the foundation for much of what we were to see in Detroit Become Human. Along with Uncharted 2 Among Thieves and Gears of War 3, it's arguably the best-looking game of that generation. Despite the technological limitations of the PS3, Quantum Dream's custom hair rendering technology was capable of rendering each strand of hair, while the facial motion capture was able to showcase complex emotions like anger, happiness, and much more without a hitch. There aren't a lot of games nowadays that have been capable of capturing the range of emotions that Jodie Holmes, Elliot Page's character, displayed in Beyond Two Souls. We also saw very exceptional implementation of lighting, animation, skin shaders, and materials. Number 9. Gran Turismo 6. Gran Turismo is one of the most well-known racing games of all time. Many fans were, in fact, really looking forward to the 6th installment of the franchise, and at the time were left disappointed when the game was announced for the PS3. At the time of the release, the PlayStation 4 was already out and available, boasting superior specifications than its predecessor, so fans couldn't understand why the game wasn't a launching title for the console. Instead, Polyphony Digital have done the reverse, aiming to not only provide the best visuals on the PS3, but to show that the aging console still has a long life ahead of it. The game featured 71 layouts of 33 tracks, 1,200 vehicles, and, although primarily the same engine as GT5, adaptive tessellation was used to give the cars a next-gen sheen. Number 8. Killzone 3. Touted as the best entry in the series, Killzone 3 is also a game that boasts impressive graphics to this day. The graphics were amazing, making Killzone 2 look obsolete in the process. There was a lot of detail poured into each stage, and it was easy to observe it just by wandering around for a bit. The explosions were outstanding, and the character animations was second to none. At the time, Killzone 3 is a game that still looks really nice on the PS3, but this does come at the cost of smooth gameplay. While for the most part players get around 25 to 30 FPS, it does have some noticeable drops down to 20 frames or even less. Number 7. Final Fantasy XIII. Released worldwide in 2010, Final Fantasy XIII was a title that divided fans and critics. While some loved the combat system and the characters, others found it too linear and needlessly complex in its lore. However, where fans can't be divided is the visuals that still look absolutely stunning today. With the big budget Square Enix is known for when it comes to the Final Fantasy series, Final Fantasy XIII unsurprisingly has stunning character models, beautiful environments, and Hollywood-style cutscenes that still look amazing today. Number 6. Metal Gear Solid 4: Guns of the Patriots. Guns of the Patriots was the conclusion to Solid Snake's story, one that had started all the way back on the PS2, but it was a satisfying conclusion. The gameplay was both faithful and innovative at the same time, offering some of the best stealth action the Metal Gear Solid franchise has ever had. Released in 2008, Guns of the Patriots still holds its own against many of today's top games. The character models, lighting, and environments all still look amazing. The only thing holding the game back is perhaps the overuse of yellows and browns, which was a look that many games adopted post-Gears of War on last-gen systems. Number 5. Ratchet & Clank: A Crack in Time. Since 2002, Insomniac Games' Ratchet & Clank series has been a strong, lasting staple of PlayStation's franchises. Though it debuted on the PS2, the series saw 6 new entries during the PS3 era, and A Crack in Time is by far the best Ratchet & Clank game released on PS3. While the formula for the series roughly remained the same, A Crack in Time brings with it a moving story and some great gameplay additions that make for one of the franchise's best outings. Years after its release, A Crack in Time still has nice graphics and still plays more or less like a modern game. Ratchet and Clank took full advantage of the PS3's capabilities, delivering vibrant and detailed environments that truly immersed players in the game's universe. From lush alien landscapes to futuristic cities, each location was beautifully rendered, showcasing the attention to detail put into the game's design. The character models were equally impressive, with fluid animations and expressive facial features that bring the beloved characters to life. Number 4. God of War 3. Until the fourth mainline entry came out for the PlayStation 4 in 2018, God of War 3 was highly regarded by fans as the best in the series. Right from the opening scenes where Kratos is doing battle with Poseidon, the game is as cinematic as it comes. Even by today's standards, the boss battles are in a league of their own when it comes to massive and powerful enemies like Kronos and Zeus. Kratos' character model still looks phenomenal and carries a sense of athleticism and strength that really taps into the kind of power fantasy that players want from a game like this. Number 3. Batman: Arkham City. The Arkham games are considered by many to be some of the greatest superhero titles of all time, and it was Arkham City that really showed the potential of these Batman games. Rocksteady knocked it out of the park with an open-world Batman game that featured the Dark Knight's allies and villains in a high-stakes story that continued the narrative of the celebrated Arkham Asylum. Even with the release of modern titles like Gotham Knights, there are many people who feel that Arkham City is still miles ahead in every way. The strong art style of this title uses Gothic architecture to make the Arkham City prison look terrifyingly beautiful. Number 2. The Last of Us. The Last of Us is a game that needs no introduction, receiving a remake, a remaster, and a TV show adaptation that's been making waves with each episode. The story of Joel and Ellie as they strive to make it to the Firefly headquarters and try to save humanity makes for an incredibly emotional tale indeed. The fact that this game ran on the PS3 is still mind-blowing to this day. The amazing art design, coupled with its incredible graphical fidelity and brilliant story, make this title a must-play for anyone with a PlayStation console. Released in 2013, The Last of Us was a game that seemed to squeeze every last bit of power out of the console to deliver a truly memorable visual experience. The character models and the motion capture was so good that it made players forget they were looking at a video game. The remastered version that released a year later on PlayStation 4 was still one of the best-looking games on the system for a long time. Number 1. Grand Theft Auto 5. First released in 2013, Grand Theft Auto 5 is still considered by many to be the benchmark that all open-world action games with modern-day settings are measured against. It's also hard to believe that this particular title was released on the PS3. The game looked absolutely gorgeous on the console, with the long loading times being one of the few drawbacks of playing on the PlayStation. The world of Los Santos is so varied and has so much going on, it really feels like a living and breathing environment. It's very rare that a game achieves the feat of making a player feel like a smaller part of a much bigger world. Even without the next-gen upgrades that the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One version received, GTA 5 is a lengthy title that's packed with things to do and has graphics that still hold up to this day. What other PS3 games do you think have great graphics? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this content, check out some of our other videos. And as always, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again in our next video.